Hey y'all, it's KaetheDoll. We are trying to be consistent over here on this channel. So yeah, I'm back again with another video. We're gonna try consistency all 2023. Even though we're 3 months in, better late than never. Better late than never. Okay, so welcome to my channel if you're new here, and welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. I'm happy to see you again. So, this video is going to be about setting boundaries and not being afraid to apologize or hold yourself accountable. I understand that a lot of us are maneuvering and we're trying to heal ourselves, most of us without the help of a professional, but a lot of us have childhood trauma and a lot of shit that we fighting against, okay? But I do want you to know that just because you came from like a dysfunctional family, if you did come from a dysfunctional family, it's fine. Just because you might have, not had the best mom or dad or what have you, it's not going to be an excuse to be a bad person in your life, okay? So if you grew up with parents who did not hold themselves accountable, did not apologize to you, never would admit that they was wrong, like none of that stuff should affect the way you hold yourself accountable. Because if you could recognize that stuff and know that, like, dang, I wish they would just say sorry. Like, I wish you would just hear me out or apologize for hurting my feelings. If you can understand that and identify that, then you can be the opposite. If you know that that was something that you did not appreciate, do not perpetuate that stuff in your life, because at the end of the day, if you are hurting people's feelings and if you're just going through like you don't care, not only are you just repeating cycles, but you're also not a great person. And it's okay to admit like that you've been a bad person at one point, and you might even be a not so great person right now. But there's always time to be redeemed and there's always space to grow. Okay? So let's get into it. It is really not cute to be the type of person who want to do what they want to do when they want to do it, regardless of how it makes other people feel, or regardless of if it affects other people. Like you don't care how it just affect the people around you. You just want to wreak havoc. And it's super ugly to be the type of person who does not apologize when they're wrong. You can't go through your life expecting people to just automatically forgive you just off the back of you being friends. You need to open your mouth and try to atone for whatever you've done against someone else. Like, it's just, it is what it is. Now, I understand that a lot of people feel vulnerable when they are apologizing. And I get how that could be a little scary, especially if you're not a person who is like an open book or you are very great at communicating. I get that. But people will appreciate you trying to understand where they're coming from. And another thing, it does not matter whether it was intentional or not. You know how you make somebody feel. Like, you know how they felt. So, like, why are you sitting up there saying, well, I didn't mean that? It doesn't matter what you meant. It matters, like, what you said and how somebody else took it, especially if you guys are friends. So, like, we gotta break this. We gotta break out of this thing of like people just not wanting to admit when they are wrong. You know what you did to people. Why do people have to be all passive aggressive or damn near tell you where you went wrong? Like, if you know in your heart of hearts that you have offended somebody, it's okay to just literally tell them, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Okay? It's just that simple. And on the other hand, I know a lot of us have triggers. A lot of us have things that really, really bother us, right? So you cannot go through your life thinking and assuming that everybody is just going to automatically know your triggers. It's unrealistic. It's entitled. Like, you are the main character of your life because it's your story. But when it comes to other people, girl, you will be lucky if you're playing a supporting role. You might be the villain. In some people's story, you're the villain. I'm probably the villain in a lot of people's story. And I'm just coming to terms with that because it's not about me. It's about however that person wants to write their story, however that person wants to see me. So, with that knowledge, I am going to just be cognizant of how I carry myself and apologize if I need to, or apologize if I ever offend somebody intentionally or not. I'm not going to be offending people intentionally, but I'm just saying, okay, if it did happen, I would be apologizing. Okay, because that's the thing to do. If you have things that seem to really, really trigger you, you probably should be having that conversation with anybody who you plan to have a relationship with. And it's because you just cannot expect them to know off the bat, especially if it's tied to something very specific or like a certain event in your life that happened. You need to have that conversation, or at least have them, introduced to the fact that you may be uncomfortable with the subject. Okay, what I mean by that is going to be in this example. So let's just say that I feel body dysmorphia, right? Well, I'm probably going to get triggered if people are commenting on my physique or commenting on anything that has to do with my body. Now, I'm feeling body dysmorphia, and my friend Jalen over here is going to tell me that I look hot and those shorts are just really fitting me and things like that. Now, here I am triggered, but how were they supposed to know that I feel a certain type of way about my body? So it triggers me to have comments made on my body. If we never had that conversation, I cannot sit here and just blow up on Jalen. I cannot sit here and just be like, you know what? Why would you say that to me? All types of stuff. And you have to look at it from the other person's perspective. They're thinking that they're giving me a compliment. But because of my internal feelings, I'm taking it a whole different way. So, like, with that type of thing, like I said, just have the conversation. Setting boundaries is literally the way that adults try and avoid confrontation and avoid conflict. It's just what it is. Like when we was little, we was just around here probably offending people. And what did we do? Fought, probably threw hands. But as an adult, you're navigating relationships a lot differently. Like there's a lot of things at stake here. We can't just be around here knocking bitches out, okay? We just can't be doing it. So, with that being said, we have to set boundaries. Now, in the example that I just gave, a lot of people, I feel like, go wrong with that. You are thinking that everybody knows exactly your stance on every little thing, and they do not. So set some boundaries and apologize when you're wrong, when you know you're wrong, or when somebody tells you, hey, you hurt my feelings. Don't be sitting up here trying to justify or rationalize your actions. Just go ahead and tell them, you know what? I understand where you're coming from. I am so sorry about that. And we don't do the I'm sorry buts. We don't do that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to say, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean to do that. You're just negating everything that you said. Like, but means you're negating whatever you're talking about. Like, don't do that. Just say, I'm sorry. I understand where you're coming from. I did not think of it like that. However, this is where I'm coming from. I am so apologetic about that. This is where I'm coming from. That's all you have to do. Okay, guys, this was kind of like a different video, but I just see so many times like people violating others or people just being so stubborn. They just won't apologize when they're wrong. And I just don't feel like that's right. I feel like we all can have more functional relationships, regardless of if we're a product of dysfunction or not. We can have more functional relationships and we can stop hurting each other if we apologize. Okay. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.